Well, hello everybody out there in BookTube land. My name is Peg. This is the History Shelf. Thanks for joining me. And to all my regular viewers, I'm back. I'm back from my travels. I came back with a cold, so I apologize for the dearth of videos over the last couple of weeks. I had hoped to have something posted while I was gone last week, but I just wasn't able to get anything scheduled. And then as soon as I got back, got a wicked head cold from airport, airplane travels, whatever. Just starting to feel better today, which is a Friday. So I apologize for the delay of my my new series that I'll be doing at the beginning of every month, previewing the hot new history releases. Well, not all of them because there's so many of them, but the ones that that are sent to me at the History Shelf. So those are the ones we'll be covering. And some of these are ones that I will be reviewing in various outlets. Not all, but I kind of get to pick and choose, or at least pitch some to different outlets. But either way, you get a heads up on the newest releases coming your way. And we've got a stack here for November. Now, I might have more because a lot of mail came in while I was gone and while I was sick. I still need to go through packages downstairs. It's a good problem to have. It's fun to open book mail. You know what I'm saying? So I'll probably have another installment if I have some, last minute new November releases rolling in. I do have a lot of fiction that's come in as well. So I'll be scheduling or at least planning a video in the next week for a bunch of new fiction. I have lots of mysteries and thrillers that are not necessarily tied to November, but I've got some historical fiction. So I've got a wealth of things I need to get to talk to you guys about and to show you. But having said that, let's get into this stack because I don't want to lose my voice. I'm still a little bit hoarse, so if I have to take a sip of water here and there, please bear with me. But I missed making my videos. I don't like it when I'm not well. I don't. Who does? Who likes to be sick? Nobody. But I miss making my videos and talking with you guys. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to mention this book even though you've seen it before, and I have posted a review of it on my social media channels. But exciting news. I've got another author interview we'll be publishing next week sometime. And I'm so excited to talk to this gentleman because I was a big fan of his previous book, Bridge to the Sun. I'm going to be interviewing Bruce Henderson, and we're going to be talking about Midnight Flyboys, the American bomber crews and Allied secret agents who aided the French resistance in World War II. This is publishing next week, as you can see on the cover there, 11/11. I'm getting sent a finished copy, and I hope I have it before my interview. I'll be interviewing him Monday evening, and with time to edit and clean things up, I should have it posted by the middle of next week, so stay tuned. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. If you haven't already and you do like to follow author interviews and any new video that I put out, hit the alarm bell, right? The bell sound. I never really ask for those types of things on this channel, but hit the notification bell. I'm going to cough. See, I might be coughing. Hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified when I post that interview. Okay. So let's just dive in. All right, this is new history. This is actually more of a nonfiction, but I'm including it here. Okay, this is on sale November 18th from Scribner, and this is Languages of Home, Essays on Writing, Hoop. Essays on Writing, Hoop, and American Lives, 1975 to 2025, by John Edgar Wideman. Let's see here. Okay. Acclaimed author John Edgar Wideman has been hailed as a master of language who writes with a scrupulous intelligence and meditative intensity that defines all his work. During his incredible 60-year literary career, he's garnered numerous accolades that proves he's continuous vitality, including winning the Penn Faulkner Award twice and been twice named the finalist for the National Book Critics Circle Award and National Book Award. Over the years, Weidman has also worked as an essayist and frequent contributor to major American publications, and helped shape the discourse on matters literary, political, and pop cultural. And in this book, this is the first ever collection, pardon me, I am so sorry. The first ever collection of Weidman's most influential essays and articles, drawing on cultural and literary criticism from throughout Weidman's career, that paint a vivid portrait of America's changing landscape and chronicles the emergence and evolution of a major American writer and intellectual. So what kind of essays are we talking about here? Complete with a foreword from award-winning author Mitchell Jackson and an afterword by Weidman himself, Languages of Home narrates the story of a nation in transition, from the aftermath of the civil rights movement to the rise of the Obama era and beyond. In his characteristically deft prose, Weidman provides a survey of a nation undergoing rapid change as seen through the eyes of one of our leading literary minds. With his unique perspective on iconic figures like Zora Neale Hurston, Malcolm X, Spike Lee, Emmett Till, and Michael Jordan, Weidman offers a fresh view on the changing tides of American society. Excellent. So I've never read anything by John Edgar Weidman. So I'm going to, and I do enjoy collections of essays. I've mentioned that many times on this channel. So I'd like to dip in here and pick out some ones that are, jump out at me the most. And then I'm going to pass this book along to a good friend who I know will really enjoy this. I'm just getting used to talking for long periods of time. I am committed to making this video. So anyway, John Edgar Weidman, Languages of Home. I'm really intrigued. I'm going to sample some of his work in here and see how it goes. But one lucky friend of mine, you know who you are, will be getting this copy as well. But thank you to Scribner. I look forward to sharing this not only with, my friend, but also, introducing myself to some of his work. Let me try a hot drink this time. Okay, bear with me, guys. We're going to get through this. If you love me, you'll stick with me. All right. And next we have a book that I wrote a review for Shelf Awareness. It'll probably be out in the next several weeks. They have a large amount of reviews they are processing through. I think they like to have these reviews come out around the time of publication, but the people who review for Shelf Awareness, we review a lot of books, and they want to get all these reviews in their digital email newsletter with that links you to the website with that week's reviews, which publish every Friday. Okay, this book was a great introduction for me because I haven't read much on this historical figure, but I learned a lot, and I actually quite enjoyed it. Excuse me. This is The Mirror of Great Britain, A Life of King James VI and First by Claire Jackson. This book is put out by Live Right, yeah. I got the finished copy. I reviewed it in an ARC. I think I've shown it on the channel too before. As those roll in, I share those with you. I'll read you the description, and I don't want to give away my review, but I'll just kind of give you the overall feeling behind my review of it. History has not been kind to King James, a cradle king who was crowned in Scotland in 1567 and England and Ireland in 1603. James VI and First has long been eclipsed in fame and reputation by his predecessor and cousin, Elizabeth I, and his mother, Mary, Queen of Scots. Yet James, if often overlooked or more often cruelly stereotyped, presents an equally fascinating figure. A diplomat whose long reigns encompassed extraordinary dramas, a passionate Protestant with a profound interest in witches and demons, a lover of young men and the patron of both Shakespeare and the great version of the Bible that still bears his name, obviously. James identified himself with the, quote, mirror of Great Britain, end quote. See, I didn't know what that was until I started reading this book. The Mirror of Great Britain is a spectacular jewel commissioned upon his accession to the English throne, which not only furnished him with one of his favorite metaphors, that of the mirror, with its limitless capacity to magnify, illuminate, and distort, but gave symbolic endorsement to his vision of British union. Now, 400 years after his death, Wolfson History Prize-winning historian Claire Jackson finally reappraises the life and legacy of the first king of Britain, and that's in quotes, first king of Britain. Sorry, first king of Great Britain. This big difference there. And beginning with the surprise assassination of his father, Lord Darnley, and the subsequent beheading of his mother, Jackson contextualizes James's troubled childhood, as well as the many attempts on his life, from his teenage detention by the Ruthven Raiders to the infamous gunpowder plot of 1605. She reflects on the renewed creativity of the Jacobean era, culminating in the King James Bible, Macbeth, and King Lear, and demonstrates how the king's keen interest in joining worlds old and new, establishing colonies overseas and closer to home, uniting Scotland, England, and Ireland, set the geopolitical stage for centuries to come. In so doing, Jackson reveals King James as perhaps the most consequential monarch of the early modern era, whose impact, for better and for worse, still reverberates today. Closely attentive to James's own words in numerous publications, manuscript musings, verse, and private correspondence, this book tells the story of this highly unusual, significant monarch with flair, insight, and empathy for the man who bore the crown. And this was a hugely enlightening book for me. It's very accessible. If you've, ever wondered, like, who was King James and why does he have this funky naming convention of James VI and First and all this kind of stuff? How did he come to do the King James, translation version of the Bible, and just the literary quality of it? This is all answered in this book. I'm really happy with this finished copy because there are so many beautiful portraits I didn't see in my advanced reading copy. But this is a very accessible, amazingly researched. The bibliography is amazing between primary sources, which are outstanding, and lengthy. She just basically is relying on primary sources, and then her own scholarship. Anyway, endnotes. It's very detailed, but elegantly written. I enjoyed it. And like I said, I have a written review of it coming out sometime in the next few weeks from Shelf Awareness. But this book is it out right now? No, it'll be out. I apologize. Next Tuesday, November 11th, from Live Right, which is an imprint of W.W. Norton. I love W.W. Norton. They are putting out some fantastic history. Let me just pause this for a second. From now on, when I cough, I promise I'm going to mute my microphone. I apologize for the earlier ones. Okay. We're going to move on. All right. This is from a very small publisher. And this is actually already out now, November 4th. The publisher is called Tiny Rep Books. Oh, but I think Penguin Random House puts this out. Okay, this is Black Owned, the Revolutionary Life of the Black Bookstore by Char Adams. I love books about bookstores. Why am I showing you the back? This is an advanced reader copy. I don't have a finished copy, but let me get into this. In Black-owned, journalist Char Adams celebrates Black bookstores and their role in community building and in liberation. This is a story of activism, espionage, violence, and perseverance. With the support of W.E.B. Du Bois and Malcolm X, civil rights and Black power activists started a Black bookstore boom nationwide. Soon, many bookstores became targets of the FBI and local law enforcement alike. Amid these struggles, bookshops were also places of celebration. Eartha Kitt and Langston Hughes held autograph parties at their local Black-owned bookstore, and Maya Angelou even became the face of National Black Bookstore Week. Now a new generation of Black activists are joining the radical bookstore tradition, with rapper No Name opening her Radical Hood library in Los Angeles. Today, Adams makes clear, in an era of increasing division, Black bookstores are needed now more than ever. I would agree with that. Populated by vibrant characters and written with cinematic flair, Black-owned is an enlightening story of community, resistance, and joy. I was flipping through it, and I just love how it's just, we got some, I know I saw some really good stuff in here. Hang on. This is another book I'm going to be passing along after I dip in and read it, because I do want to read it. I'm going to see if I can get maybe the finished copy too, but I'll be passing it along. This is out right now from Tiny Rep Books, but you can just Google the name and you'll find it. This is out by Char Adams. I'm excited to sample that. Just a personal note, not personal, I'll say channel note. The volume of books I'm receiving is far more than I can handle as far as space in my home. So I'm doing my best to try and share these books out with people I know, friends. I'm looking at donations for, all this kind of other stuff, whether it's, I'm looking into like who would take like large amounts. I'm libraries. I'm thinking of looking to retirement homes that might like some of the books that I have, especially like military history for the older gentlemen there that might be into it. But anyway, just so you know, I'm going to be sharing some of these books out afterwards, after I've had a chance to dip in and see if it's a fit for me or not. So stay tuned. I probably will be doing some more giveaways. So, and to the folks who are wondering if they've won on some of my past giveaways, I am so sorry. I am really behind on following up and reaching out to you. I have a few books that are set aside. I need to alert the winners. So stay tuned. I will follow up. I promise. It just might take a little bit. I'm a one-woman shop, people. I'm a one-woman shop here at the History Shelf. Okay, don't make me. I'm going to start coughing if I laugh. Let's do this book, because this one came in a while ago, and I was setting it aside for my November preview. This is a book from St. Martin's Press. And it is it out now? No, it comes out next week. This is A Promise Delivered, 10 American Heroes and the Battle to Rename Our Nation's Military Bases, by Ty Seidule and Connor Williams. Very timely, obviously. Says here, in 2020, the United States Congress wrote an unprecedented piece of legislation creating the Naming Commission and passed it by a broad bipartisan vote. The commission was tasked with a monumental mission, renaming 9 of the U.S. military's most prominent Army bases, all named for Confederate leaders who had waged war against America in the hopes of maintaining and spreading a slave republic, which I never understood. Over the course of 20 months, that commission completed their mission. carefully combing through years of American history and hearing from tens of thousands of Americans from all walks of life. It ultimately chose 10 Americans whose individual heroics reflect the collective best of all that America is and could be. With their firsthand knowledge of the selection process, Vice Chair Ty Sejul and lead historian Connor Williams recount the lives of each of these American heroes, from former President Dwight D. Eisenhower, appropriate, to Civil War Dr. Mary Walker, to Cold War General Richard Cavazos. The individual histories nestled within each chapter prove why these men and women are true representatives of our country and how, by looking to them, America can aspire towards a better future. This is right up my alley, as you well know, if you're a regular viewer of my channel. Very interested in learning about some of these names. Now, some of these I already know, like Hal Moore, We Were Soldiers, of We Were Soldiers Once fame. We Were Soldiers Once and Young, I think was the name of it. Arthur Gregg, I haven't heard of him. Dr. Mary Walker, like I said, that's new. This is going to be great. I want to learn about our heroes that have not been maybe recognized before. And anyway, this is from St. Martin's Press, coming out next week. A promise delivered. All right. Shall we move on? Yes, we shall. Okay, hopefully you can still hear me okay. This is a big, beefy book. Oops, and I missed this. This came in late, folks. Shall I save some of the October ones to the end? Yeah, that was my bad. I thought I had stacked these all according to month. Okay, another book that's coming out next week, and I have the advanced copy of. This is so my topic. I love this. When I heard about this book, I'm like, yes, I need. Well, the publicist reached out to me on this one, and I said, this is my wheelhouse. This is by Mikhail Zygar, another book from Scribner, and this is The Dark Side of the Earth, Russia's Short-Lived Victory Over Totalitarianism. Ooh, good stuff. I'd like to get a copy of this boy. Tell you what. I don't think I have the pub sheet, though, so I'll just read from the back. I'll tell you how long it is, though. It's well over 500 pages. Dark Side of the Earth. Short-lived, short-lived, tomato, however you like to pronounce it. Russian-born journalist Mikhail Zygar was 10 years old when the Soviet Union collapsed. Now, after nearly 10 years of research, he offers a timely and compelling new approach on Russian history, one that rewrites everything we thought we knew about the fall of the Soviet Union, and argues that its ending is yet to come. Starting with the historic launch of the first human into space in April 1961, Zygar unravels a dramatic story of resistance, resilience, and resurgence that led to the Soviet Union's dissolution and the echoes of its legacy today. Zygar conducted several hundred exclusive interviews with key figures, including Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev, first presidents of the independent post-Soviet republics, the first secretaries of these republics, and leaders of independent movements within them, as well as Western politicians and diplomats who were witnesses to and participants in those events. He dives into the struggles and triumphs of figures like Andrei Sakharov, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and Vladimir Vysotsky. Vladimir Vysotsky, whose defiance of totalitarianism is both inspiring and deeply relevant. Zygar explains how the victory over the Soviet Empire may have been short-lived, as today's Russian regime maintains its imperial ambitions. A must-read for anyone looking to understand the origins of modern Russian fascism. That's me. Like I said, it's my fort, my wheelhouse. I've always been studying the Soviet Union and totalitarianism in general, but particularly in Russia. So This is it, man. I can't wait to dive into this one. The Dark Side of the Earth explores how imperial and nationalist ideas developed during the Soviet era and eventually gave rise to the current Putinist ideology. Zygar's work is uniquely powerful, fueled by his personal ties to the Soviet era, access to historical archives, and interviews that crack open hidden truths, including several with individuals who had never before spoken on the record. Fabulous. Again, this comes out November 11th from Scribner and Mikhail Zygar, The Dark Side of the Earth. So keep that one on your radar, folks. Coming up real soon. And I can't wait. That is so my topic. Here's another. Now we're going to go back to British history. All right. This one has already come out November 4th. From, is it Grove Atlantic? Well, it's Atlantic Monthly Press, which is an imprint of Grove Atlantic. Sorry, guys, I have to keep sipping, and I'd rather not have to pause the video every time. I just got to keep the throat from getting too dry. This is Tracy Borman. I'm sure many of you are familiar with her. She's written so much on, British royalty and history. And this came out on the 4th, and this is The Stolen Crown, Treachery, Deceit, and the Death of the Tudor Dynasty. Doesn't that sound fantastic? Yeah, she's the acclaimed royal historian. Let me hold this up while I read the... Sorry for all the dust motes flying around, guys. Okay. In the long and dramatic annals of British history, no transition from one monarch to another has been as fraught and consequential as that which ended the Tudor dynasty and launched the Stuart era in March 1603. That kind of goes back to the book I just showed you earlier with the Mirror of Great Britain. At her death, Elizabeth I had reigned for 44 turbulent years, facing many threats, whether external from Spain or internal from her cousin Mary, Queen of Scots, the mother of King James VI and I. But no danger was greater than the uncertainty over who would succeed her. See, wow, I should have talked about this book right after I showed you the last one. Which only intensified as her reign lengthened. Her unwillingness to marry or name a successor gave rise to fierce rivalry between blood claimants to the throne, which threatened to destabilize the monarchy. As acclaimed Tudor historian Tracy Borman reveals, according to Elizabeth's earliest biographer, William Camden, the Queen indicated on her deathbed that her cousin, James VI of Scotland, was her chosen heir. One moment. Okay. I had a big coughing jag. I had to pause on that. All right, we're moving on. So she indicated that her cousin, James VI of Scotland, was her chosen heir. He became king soon after she died, and that endorsement has been accepted as fact for more than 4 centuries. However, recent analysis of Camden's original manuscript shows key passages were pasted over and rewritten to burnish James's legacy. I need to go back and look at the other book to see if that was mentioned. I don't know. The newly uncovered pages make clear that not only did Elizabeth's naming of James never happen, but also that James, uncertain he would ever gain the British throne, was even suspected of sending an assassin to London to kill the Queen, which, I'm sorry, but the Claire Jackson book indicates that was not the case. Had all this been known at the time, the English people, bitter enemies with Scotland for centuries, might well not have accepted James as their king, with unimagined ramifications. Wow. So these two books are really intimately combined here. So one of the foremost experts on the history of the British monarchy, Borman sheds rare new light on both the eternal subject of the Tudors and Elizabeth's historic reign, chronicling it through the lens of the various claimants who over the decades sought the throne of the only English monarch not to make provision for her successor and skillfully managed to retain her power throughout. Yeah, the portrait of James the Sixth and First in this book here is very it's quite sympathetic, and he is not painted as he knew where his bread was buttered, and that was staying on Elizabeth's good side. And in fact, the things that Claire Jackson kind of says in this book about his troubled relationship with Mary, Queen of Scots, he was a smart man, and he knew he wasn't about to send an assassin against Elizabeth. He just wasn't. And, in the end, he didn't really fight for his mother all that much. And people were kind of curious about that. But anyway, so these two books together will make, I haven't read this one yet. I have read this one. So I'm going to read this one and kind of like cross-reference and see where they agree or disagree. I already see a couple of areas where they see things differently. But anyway, The Stolen Crown is out now, November 4th, from Atlantic Monthly Press. I can really highly recommend Claire Jackson's The Mirror of Great Britain. So cool. We've got some more Tudor history for you there. Let's get to, wait a second. Okay. Maybe I'll save this one for later because I have a finished copy of this one coming. But, yeah, I'm excited. Let's head over to American Revolution. I've been waiting to show you guys this book. I got this a while ago, and I still need to get to it. This came out November 4th from Riverhead Books. And for all you American Revolution fans, we've got The American Revolution and the Fate of the World. Sorry for the glare. By Richard Bell. Oh my God, these light conventions aren't working sometimes. But anyway, from Riverhead Books. It says here, the American Revolution was I should stop moving around because just look what I've done. Get the dust motes. I'm going to start coughing soon. And it's fantastic. I amuse myself in how awkward I am on camera. The American Revolution was a true world war, much wider than the colonists' struggle to throw off an overbearing Britain. It upended the lives of millions on every continent, disrupting trade, sparking famine, and creating the first global refugee crisis. Wow. I never thought of it like that. And the fate of the world. All right. Positioning the revolution at the center of an international web that stretched as far as India, Africa, Central America, and Australia, Richard Bell conveys the cataclysmic impact of the conflict by grounding his narrative in the gripping stories of individuals, including women, Black people, and Native Americans. Unexpected and unforgettable, his account transforms everything we thought we knew about our creation story. All right. Doesn't tell me much in this one. In the fate of the world. Okay, some of the chapters look very, very intriguing. I see the Empress of China, the Boston Tea Party, and the fight for free trade. Interesting. Shock troops, chapter 3, Hessian soldiers and the counterinsurgency campaign. Love it. Molly Brant, native diplomacy and the fight for indigenous independence. Oh, chapter 5 is on Ireland, the line of Ireland, errant soldiers in the transatlantic struggle for liberty. Chapter 6 is on the Prussians with Baron Steuben, the drill master at Valley Forge. Very cool. I like how it's broken up into chapters that take on a different international angle. So this sounds really great. Oh, this is great. Yeah, and with 2026 marking the 250th anniversary of the Revolution, you're going to be seeing just so many more books on the on this period. This is one I plan to read, and I'm excited to check out how it all ties in with the different countries. And there's a thing in Ireland right there. Very cool. Again, I have an advanced copy, so this is not finished. There could be color artwork or photos in here, but not photos, but color inserts, but not yet. Anyway, from Riverhead Books, out on, well, it's already out. November 4th it came out. So check this out if you're interested. I'm putting this on my to be read pile. And then this book just came in the other day. Tiny little thing. Tiny. But from a great writer, great historian, great biographer that many of you know and love, Walter Isaacson. This book is not out yet, but they've sent me a hardcover of it. It's so tiny and precious. Comes out November 18th from Simon & Schuster. This is Walter Isaacson's The Greatest Sentence Ever Written. Okay. And look at this. Zoom. It is not, it's like, oh, let's do a page count. 67 pages. 67 pages. Let me tell you this little tiny thing. To celebrate America's, here we go, we're on the theme here, right? America's 250th anniversary. Isaacson takes readers on a fascinating deep dive into the creation of one of history's most powerful sentences. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Drafted by Thomas Jefferson and edited by Benjamin Franklin and John Adams, this line lays the foundation for the American dream and defines the common ground we share as a nation. But did you know Jefferson originally wrote sacred instead of self-evident? Yes. Or that key phrases invoking divine rights and rational thought were meticulously debated and revised? Yes. Each edit balanced faith, reason, and radical new ideas that laid the foundation for a nation and for today's democracy. Isaacson unpacks its genius word by word, illuminating the then radical concepts behind it. Readers will gain a fresh appreciation for how it was drafted to inspire unity, equality, and the enduring promise of America. With clarity and insight, he reveals not just the power of these words, but describes how, in these polarized times, we can use them to restore an appreciation for our common values. So, yeah, sit down and read this in one sitting. I mean, kind of big type, common ground, certain unalienable rights. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having this on hand. I love Walter Isaacson's work, and just having this, kind of explored by him. I've learned these things over time in the books I've read on, the Founding Fathers, and especially Thomas Jefferson and the drafting of it, these debates and how things were revised, changed, and kind of things like that. So I know that, but I'd love to see how Walter Isaacson frames it and writes in his inimitable style. So this is coming out November 18th from Simon & Schuster. So keep your eyes out for this little... This would make like a nice little stocking stuffer or something, you know what I mean? So that's fantastic. Yes, thank you, Simon & Schuster. They just dropped that in the mail to me. I said, I wasn't expecting that. It's very, very nice. Okay, guys, I'm getting through it. I've got a few more. All right. Now we're going to go to World War II era. And this is from Bloomsbury, USA, the publisher. This is great. This is coming out, or has it already come out? Let's see here. Next week, November 11th, Bloomsbury will publish Charles Dick's Unknown Enemy, the hidden Nazi force that built the Third Reich. Isn't that great? Look at this. Nice, bold coloring on that. All right. So let's see here. This is a comprehensive account of the organization TOT, T-O-D-T, and apparently the acronym is OT for that. Organization Todt, a paramilitary group of architects and engineers called upon to make Hitler's imperial ambitions a built reality. British intelligence credited the OT as the, quote, the most impressive building program since Roman times. But this was achieved through brutal exploitation and forced labor. The OT was deeply involved in concentration camp networks from Auschwitz to Vivara. Unlike the SS or Gestapo, the OT did not become infamous after World War II, and its name is never used as a byword for terror. It was headed by two successive armaments ministers. The first was its founder, Fritz Todt, and the second, of course, and everyone knows the second name, Albert Speer, who took over after Todt's death in 1942. Speer was convicted at Nuremberg, but he escaped a death sentence and was instead jailed for 20 years. Otherwise, the OT seldom figured in war crimes trials. Drawing on devastating personal testimony from survivors, Unknown Enemy is the first major account of the OT's operations, which grew out of the largest system of exploited labor since the transatlantic slave trade. I'm struggling a little bit, guys, but I'm getting through it. Charles Dick takes us to the OT sites across Europe, from the Arctic Circle to the Balkans and deep into what the Third Reich termed its Eastern Lebensraum, living space, roughly translated, to reveal how the organization boosted the German war economy by plundering raw materials and manpower, working thousands of prisoners to death within the SS-run concentration camp system and outside it. Unknown Enemy unveils how Germany's leading engineers and architects, neither soldiers nor policemen, got away with some of the gravest crimes ever perpetrated over the course of World War II. Yes, so this is going to be interesting. I had never heard of Operation Todt. I mean, I knew about Albert Speer's, he was Hitler's architect and was going to build the city of Berlin that was supposed to last for 1,000 years with all these different, gaudy and, Greco kind of Romanesque buildings to the grandeur of the Reich and all this kind of baloney. But anyway, this is another book right up my alley. So I've got a lot to dip into. But luckily, hey, the holidays are coming up, right? And Peg's going to have more time to read. Right? Yes. I have a lot going on with this channel. I've got 2 author interviews next week. I hope you all are enjoying my author interviews. By the way, I told you earlier this year or something. When I told you at one point, I was like, I'm going to be doing more author interviews. So I hope you do watch them and like them. But anyway, The Unknown Enemy or Unknown Enemy by Charles Dick, coming out on next Tuesday, November 11th from Bloomsbury. 42 minutes. What else can I get in here before I choke myself out here? Okay. Sorry, that one escaped. This was an interesting book. I'm trying to remember who sent it to me or how it came to me. I think someone said, hey, would you like to take a look at a copy? And I said, sure, because it's another book of essays. And let's see here. This is from Sensibility Press. Thank you to the folks at Sensibility Press. This book came out on November 4th. This is by Norman L. Bender, and this is called Just Off the Norm, Published Opinions on American Politics and Culture by one of its most trenchant observers. And this is an advanced copy, an advanced galley. Let me just read the back to you. In a media landscape flooded with alternative facts and outright lies, Norman Bender's essays are islands of truth. Bender has been an astute observer of American politics and culture for decades. His letters and opinions have been published in newspapers across the country, including the New York Times, USA Today, and the Chicago Tribune, and the Boston Globe. And he also has a local presence with the Hartford Courant and the New Haven Register. This collection of some of Bender's most pointed writings shows the struggles our nation has faced in the past quarter century, highlights the shortcomings of some of our leaders, and serves as a cautionary tale. It also encourages all Americans to fight to restore the ideals that the U.S. was founded on: liberty, equality, and justice for all. Well, that's another timely read, certainly. Wow. Okay, some of these are very short little pieces. Look at that. What would Jesus do? Heal the sick? You betcha. The more things change. What America needs is a month dedicated to. What is that? Did I read that right? Oh, here's a funny one. That's hilarious. That's a knee slapper. No, this is gonna be great. I have never heard. I don't think I've read Norman Bender, so I'm definitely check this out. These are easy to read. You could just read a couple pages at lunch on your lunch break. Oh wow, this is cool. Oh, this is gonna be good. Oh, is he more of a conservative guy? Reality has a well-known liberal bias. What? I don't know. Let me see. I'll have to figure it out. I don't. Maybe some of you already know who Norman Bender is. Let me know in the comments below. But this came out on November 4th from Sensibility Press. I'm going to dip in. I'm going to read some of these along with that other book of essays that I showed you. All right, we're moving on here. Now into the genre of memoir, which I also consider very much history, because it is set in a distant history. This is from Sibylline Press, and this is The Strength of Water, an Asian American coming-of-age memoir by Karen K. Jensen. It's a very beautiful cover, I think. Here we go. In 1920s Detroit, King Ying lives in a small apartment. And, of course I got to say Detroit, my town, baby. My hometown. You know what I'm saying? See my Detroit Lions helmet over. They need to figure out their stuff. And fast, because we shouldn't have lost to the Minnesota Vikings the other week. We shouldn't have happened. It was an ugly game. Let's go, guys, on Sunday. All right, back to it. In 1920s Detroit, King Ying lives in a small apartment behind her parents' laundry business, where she stands on a box to iron clothes, endures taunts of Ching Ching Chinamen on the playground, and tries to reconcile what passes for normal in jazz-age America with her father's vastly different cultural values. She dreams of a real home, the elegance of her Jane Arden paper dolls, and winning her stern father's affection. But when Ba incurs steep debts during the Great Depression, he sends her far from hope to live in his ancestral village. In remote Tai Ting Pong, in the Guangdong province of China, she feels as foreign in the land of her heritage as in the country of her birth. She must survive hunger, dangerous superstitions, and Japanese invasion as the Sino-Japanese War begins. When guardian angels help her return to the U.S., it's a chance to seize her American dream. In this inspiring and heartfelt memoir, Karen K. Jensen records her mother's trans-Pacific quest for identity, survival, and new world dreams. Oh. So that is her mother, and this is the author. It's a lovely lady. Both lovely ladies. Oh, I love memoirs. I just love them. Oh, this is beautiful. And this book is, I think it came out. Today's its publication date. The Strength of Water, Karen K. Jensen from Sibylline Press. This sounds like a fantastic story. Wow. I love how memoirs just draw you into other people's experiences, their existence. It really, when you read memoirs, especially people who are from a different nation, different culture, different heritage than your own, I don't know how it doesn't change you as a person. I don't know how it doesn't increase your sense of interconnectedness with humanity, and your empathy, and I just find that if I can just, just take it into a editorial, opinion moment here, an op-ed moment, I just think we need more empathy in this country today. I think a lot of us have it, and I think a lot of us don't, and aren't even interested in having it. We're just comfortable with what we're comfortable with, and we don't really want to move out of those zones of comfort, and I think that indicates fear, fear of the other, fear of the unknown. And when it comes to people, folks, you cut a person, we all bleed, right? So pick up a memoir if you're out there, of someone from another time, a place, a land, a religion. Read a memoir. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. See what that does, and do it more than once, and just start to open up to those thoughts, of what really makes us all human. Yeah, that's my editorial for the moment. So I'm excited to just really take my time with this one. I love memoirs. I don't like to rush through them. I like to read a chapter and then kind of set it down, and I'll do my other assigned reading, and I just kind of let that new story of that person's life percolate in my head for a little bit. It's something I do. Let me just show you real quick. Oh yeah, let me show you this one. Apparently this one came out. So now I'm going to show you, let me sneak in this. I'm going to sneak this one in. This is a small little book that was written previously. It's coming out, and it's fiction. So I'm breaking my rule, but hang on. This is coming out on November 11th from Scribner, and it's called The Ha-Ha by Jennifer Dawson. At a tea party at Oxford University in the 1950s, earnest undergraduates in floral dresses clink cups, discussing their studies, sports, and summer balls. But to one student, they are grotesquely transformed. She is sitting among ominous armadillos with scaly shells, buzzing with black flies. Then the laughter comes. As she is engulfed in mirthless hysterics, the school has no choice but to send her away. Since her mother's death, Josephine's reality seems a badly painted canvas, viewed through the wrong end of a telescope. She always thinks the wrong things. It is a relief to find a sense of belonging, for once, within the mental institution where she is confined. But eventually she must reintegrate with society, and through a transformative encounter with a fellow patient, a return to real life seems possible. Originally published in 1961, The Ha-Ha was met with critical acclaim and belongs on the shelf alongside Sylvia Plath's The Bell Jar. Did you guys know that? I've never heard of this before. But they reached out to me, and I was like, The Ha-Ha. Well, at first, no, you know what it was? I was it sounded like a historical fiction novel that we might cover in Historical Novels Review. But I didn't realize at the time that this was previously written, and that does not align with our review parameters. So, but I wanted to mention this on this channel because obviously a lot of Sylvia Plath fans out there, and I've always loved reading biographies about Sylvia Plath. So, and I've read The Bell Jar. So, I was intrigued. I was like, The Ha-Ha. Let me check this out. So anyway, I wanted to put this on your radar. It's a thin little book, thin little novel. Probably about 150 odd pages. But yeah, from Scribner. Check it out. Okay. So, I've done that one now. I wanted to mention this one to you. I've got 2 books from October, and I'm way over. It's going to be an hour video. I can't help it. I had to get this video done because I'm overdue for this November history preview. It's not a preview anymore, but that's what I'm calling it. This is from Viking Books, and this is going to be Really interesting. I don't read a lot of economic history, but this is such a pivotal moment in our history that it's something I really want to understand. Um, and so here it is in all its glory. It's out right now. And there goes the dust motes again from these books. It is Andrew Ross Sorkin's nice, big, beefy book, 1929, Inside the Greatest Crash in Wall Street History and How It Shattered a Nation. Don't think so. I didn't get the pub sheet, but let me read this to you real quick. In 1929, the world watched in shock as the unstoppable Wall Street bull market went into a free fall, wiping out fortunes and igniting a depression that would reshape a generation. But behind the flashing ticker tapes and panicked traders, another drama unfolded. One of visionaries and fraudsters, titans and dreamers, euphoria and ruin, with unparalleled access to historical records and newly uncovered documents. New York Times bestselling author Andrew Ross Sorkin takes readers inside the chaos of the crash, behind the scenes of a raging battle between Wall Street and Washington, and the larger-than-life characters whose ambition and naivete in a seemingly endless boom led to disaster. The dizzying heights and brutal lows of this era eerily mirror today's world, where markets soar, political tensions mount, and the fight over financial influence plays out once again. This is not just a story about money. 1929 is a tale of power, psychology, and the seductive illusion that this time is different. It's about disregarded alarm bells, financiers who fell from grace, and skeptics who saw the crash coming only to be dismissed until it was too late. Hailed as a landmark book, too big to fail, that was his other book, I guess, that he wrote. Wait a second, hang on. No, I don't know if he wrote that. Let me see. But it's referencing the other book. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, hailed as a landmark book, too big. Yes, he did. It's right on the cover. He did write Too Big to Fail. I apologize. Andrew Ross Sorkin. So that book was hailed as a landmark. That book reimagined how financial crises are told. Now, with 1929, Sorkin delivers an immersive, electrifying account of the most pivotal market collapse of all time, with lessons that remain as urgent as ever. More than just a history, 1929 is a crucial blueprint for understanding the cycles of speculation, the forces that drive financial upheaval, and the warning signs we ignore at our peril. So, I like that it's not just about the money. It's going to be a book that has like a psychology involved, analyzing just the power mad, the power hungry, and it's going to be good stuff. I think it's gonna kind of fill in some gaps in my knowledge of that era. And you get your usual inserts of photos of black and white, people and places, all the major players, the headlines, But yeah, I've been hearing I've been seeing this everywhere in my dealings with publishers, and this book is really making the rounds and people are talking about it. So I really do want to see what the hubbub is about. So thanks to Viking for the review copy of 1929, Inside the Great Crash in Wall Street History and How It Shattered a Nation by Andrew Ross Sorkin. That is out now. All right. So, you know what? I think I'm going to hold on to these other two because, wait, is it coming out? Nope, I missed this one. This one left the dock. But I'm going to have a finished copy of this next book, which is Western History. You want to come back for that one. So I'll have probably another wrap-up video towards the middle or end of the month. It's almost the middle of the month. So as we inch closer to Thanksgiving, I'll have another, maybe November last-minute kind of new history updates. of books that are coming in. And like I said, I've got a lot of packages in the parlor that I need to go through and get those lined up for you guys. So, and I'm at an hour. So and I'm about ready to have a choking fit. So, yep, I had a choking fit. All right. That's where I'm ending this video. Let's hope in my next video, this cold is completely gone out of here. Thanks for being patient, guys, as I was out of pocket. I'm back from my travels just in time, really, before all the airports just seemed to shut down. I feel for everyone who's trying to travel right now. I cross myself for you. It's so nerve-wracking. The state of everything is so nerve-wracking. Just love your loved ones, love your neighbor. Be kind, people. And I know you are. The people who watch my channel, you're readers, man. You get it. But I got to say it. I just got to keep saying it. Thank you for being here. I look forward to coming back and having my voice back. And I hope it needs to be back by Monday because I'm doing my author interview. I've got a lot of reading on tap for this weekend, so I think I'm just going to continue to rest, drink hot tea, hydrate, do my thing, eat some good food. Take care of each other. Be well. Comment below. I've missed you guys. Have you missed me? Let me know. Anyway, all right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care out there, and come back soon to the History Shelf because I got more books to show you. I always do. All right. Bye.